With the recent surge of all these off-roady family haulers like the Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek Edition, the Florida Explorer Timberline, and the Kia Telluride X-Pro, Honda has finally decided to distinguish themselves and make a properly off-road capable three-row family hauler. And now Honda claims that this 4th generation Pilot TrailSport is the most off-road capable factory Honda to date. Today I'm at Flagpole Knob in the middle of Virginia. It's actually the first time I've been here, so we're gonna see what the TrailSport name actually means. So thanks to Honda for lending me this Pilot to beat up on this trail. But this one in particular is a 2023 TrailSport in Sonic Gray Pearl. It's a nice looking color, especially on the TrailSport trim. If I was to get one of these, I'd either get that diffused sky blue pearl or Honda's Radiant Red. Those are my two favorite colors. The MSRP for this one is right at $48,700. So it's pretty steep, but it's pretty competitive as well. So the Pilot TrailSport is really in a segment of its own because Subaru doesn't make an Ascent Wilderness, at least as of right now. And you could call this a competitor to a Rock Creek Edition Pathfinder. This is on a different league to me because this is more capable. And to make this a more capable and the most capable Pilot ever, it's not just appearance like the last generation Pilot. One of the most important things to me when it comes to off-roading, besides tires, is recovery. Because honestly, let's be honest, you're bound to get stuck in an all-wheel drive car. Now it's good that Honda added recovery points, but it's all the way underneath the car, connected to the skid plate. Even in Subarus, the recovery points in the front are easy to get to right up close to the crash bar. Now that is another thing that you get with the TrailSport. There's an engine skid plate, a transmission skid plate, and a gas tank skid plate. So we're definitely gonna be using those today. Now something else I was hoping for that Honda would do to the TrailSports is increasing the approach angle. Now it is better than last year, but this is 18.3 degrees. The TrailSport also gets a 360 view camera, and the front camera even has a washer for it, which is actually really useful on the trail. These are also an inch taller than a normal Pilot. Ground clearance is now 8.3 inches above 7.3, which is a good improvement, but compared to the Wilderness models of Subaru, which are over 9 inches, and even the base spec Outback and Forester at 8.7, this is still a little bit low. Especially on a pretty complex trail like Flagpole Knob, tires are going to be very important. These aren't full all-terrains like BFG KO2s or Falcon Wild Peaks. These are continental terrain contacts, so it's like right in the middle of an all-terrain and an all-season, but they're decent and they're slightly bigger. The size of these is 265/60 R18. The TrailSport also gets unique wheels, which look really nice on this. But in terms of rear recovery, Honda did a better job by adding nice, easily accessible recovery points attached to the standard tow bar. Now, these all-wheel drive TrailSports can tow up to 5,000 pounds, but if you get a normal front-wheel drive Pilot, you can tow up to 3,500 pounds. Now, because this is a three-row SUV, departure angle also isn't ideal for difficult situations, but it's not bad. This is 21 degrees. These also use Honda's 2nd generation of iVTM4, so it can send more power to the rear wheels, and the TrailSport has a trail mode that can send up to 70% of power to the rear wheels and appropriate torque between the left and right using a multi-plate clutch pack that can act like a limited slip rear diff. The front wheels solely rely on brake torque vectoring, sort of like the A-Track system in Toyotas and also the advanced traction control systems in Land Rovers. Okay, so I know you want to see some wheeling footage, and that's right after this, but don't skip because I wanted to talk about the different options you have when it comes to off-roading in your Pilot. So of course the Pilot is a fully all-wheel drive vehicle, so there's no low-range gearbox, there's no locking differentials, the car really just chooses everything. You do have a few choices though. In the drive modes you can choose between a snow mode, a trail mode, which turns off traction control, activates the 360 view camera, and also pre-pumps the brakes so you don't roll back on hills, but I would still recommend left foot braking. There's also a sand mode, which changes the traction control again. I think that limits wheel spin. In addition to that, Honda has added downhill assist control, which can work up to speeds as slow as 2 miles an hour. But really quick before we go, because this is a TrailSport, there's a bunch of orange stitching all throughout the interior. TrailSport is embossed into the headrest, and you get a heated steering wheel and heated seats. That's cool. That's really cool. I'm gonna go through it again. Something that's nice is that I have all these cameras inside and I can see how deep I'm going in. That's cool, man. Let's try to go up this. Wow. So this is, I'd say, the first obstacle. The line I'm gonna take is down here. We're gonna see what it's gonna do. Let's see. Little driver. Little driver. Okay, going down. Woohoo! Wow. That 360 camera works well. Wow, look at that. We're gonna go down this now. One nice thing about this, wow, I'm teetering. One nice thing about this is that this has fat tires, but this is one of those moments that I wish I had a more confident approach angle. I'm teetering. The parking sensors, man. How do I turn those off? Oh, I'm good anyway. Wow. Okay, the fun part is going up this. Hill descent control is active. You just push the button and I set it for 2 miles an hour, which is honestly, well, for this it's not bad. You can hear it clamping. It's maybe just a little bit too quick. Actually, no, this is comfortable. So I think I see the line you're trying to have me take.
Yeah, just right here, stay as far to the right as you can.
And go over that. Yeah, like this. Okay. Going down. Going down. Wow. It's funny. Wow. These drops always look so much more intimidating when you're walking up to them, and camera does not do justice. Nice. If I understand, so my driver's tire is gonna stay here. Yeah.
That's the best you're gonna do. And it's really, I think it looks.
It probably.
It looked bad when I was driving.
Yeah, because these, you know, these, yeah.
And it looks like someone stacked all this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Straight. Okay. More left, more driver. Okay, straighten out. Okay. PC. Oops. Skid plate. Wow. Wow. That's why you have skid plates.
You barely rub that front balance a little bit.
Really? That's it?
A little bit.
Nice. I had to do some rock formation. I might do a little bit more actually, because I just don't want to slide so my front wheel falls in this hole here. Because I don't know how else I'd get up. This seems like the best line. Okay. Nope. I don't like where I'm going. Nope.
See that? See that right there? Then get that tire up on there.
Yeah.
And then you get that tire on there. You should be
Oh.
able to get tires.
I
You
can
want to get
try.
tires on rock.
Exactly. So like this line.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up a bit. Okay. Wow. 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 See, that's what happens when you have a good spotter. Let's see here. Up. I'm gonna 2-foot it. How it just bites. This is impressive. So this one is another difficult line. Well, difficult obstacle.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Now cut it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
I'm just wondering if I'll do the turn.
I don't know if you can make the turn.
Yeah, I don't think I
I
can.
think if you back up and take a little more of an angle, like cut it, and then come.
So many beeps. Shut up.
Just till you get off the rock, and then you gotta keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
You're good. Keep going, then just come this way.
So keep just back straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going a little bit back, and then just cut it. Start cutting the wheel that way.
Driver or passenger? This way? Woohoo! Nah. Yeah. I'll forfeit. It's just, this feels sketch. Just like pull straight. Okay.
No, cut it first.
Like this way?
Yeah, then turn a little bit more. Cut it this way as much as you can.
Huh.
You're gonna do it. Keep going.
That's cool, man. Well, I tried. So the Pilot has always used the J series, and thankfully I can say that Honda has retained that J series engine, but now this one loses VTEC but gains 3 more horsepower at 285 and 262 pound-feet of torque. This is the J35 Y8. In my week of testing, I've been getting about 20 mpg combined. That's actually pretty good for something this big. And I also appreciate that it's not a turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is paired to an in-house built Honda 10-speed automatic transmission and Honda's iVTM4 all-wheel drive. Now for that transmission, the low-speed crawl ratio in first gear is 22:1, which is very low for an all-wheel drive at least. Now, one of the things that is important about an Overlander is cargo room, especially if you want to sleep inside of here. Now, it is a lot bigger than the last gen Pilot. The only catch is with the TrailSport, it's only a 7-passenger, so there's bucket seats in the second row, so you'd have to put some sort of floor in the middle. But besides that, it's actually really cavernous. There's plenty of storage underneath, and you can take this out, flip it over, and put your muddy boots or any muddy things. Like for me, it would be my muddy RC trucks that I'd take. And just like traditional SUVs, the spare tire is underneath the car, and the TrailSport gets a full-size matching spare tire. I'm not sure if the wheel is the same. I'm not sure if there's any available lift kits for these just yet because they literally just came out, but when that time does come, I'd look at Traxxada and Trucks. So there's this drainage ditch in my neighborhood that we're going to see how this reacts. If I'll actually get wheels up in the air, we'll see. Let's see. I'll shut that up. It seems like it's just flexing. This wheel is kind of up in the air. Well, the 2 wheels that don't have traction are the passenger front and the driver rear. So now we're going to watch how the car can shift power using the brake vectoring in the front and the the clutch packs in the back. So you can see, normal mode, it crawls out of it. Okay. So now, I'm gonna do snow, so we can really just see how every different mode acts. Definitely limiting wheel spin because it's taking some more time. But it really just crawls up that thing and instantly shifts power around. Okay. Being sus in my neighborhood. Okay, so now I'm in trail mode and I'm going to hope that I can actually lose traction somewhere. Right here, maybe? Yeah. I mean, it's all too easy. I'll try another ditch. Okay, this one seems to be even more promising. So, of course, none of this is difficult because I'm in my neighborhood. But I think, here we go. So, you can watch that rear axle. That's a lot of flex. You just keep your foot on it. Very light throttle. And it just goes over it. So that's trail mode. I want to try sand mode to see if that does any other difference. Let's see here. Okay, so wheel is up now. So sand mode gives me more wheel spin. That's what sand mode seems to do. For funsies, I want to try trail mode again. So trail mode also seems to give me some better throttle response, and like if I stop now, it holds the brake for a second so I don't spin. So I wanted you to see through this angle, the front wheel, what it's doing. So I'm just giving it consistent throttle. and it just does it. It just grips. The suspension also takes bumps pretty well. I wanted to talk about that more on the trail, but I didn't have the time. I'm gonna do some city boy wheeling. Gonna drop. It does well, but I'm very impressed for being an independent setup and for being a unibody, how well this thing takes bumps. On corrugated roads, anything really bumpy, this thing handles the bumps surprisingly well. It's good at crawling. I'm starting to like this. I'm not gonna say more than I should, but I think I want one of these now. That was honestly a very surprising and successful day of off-roading. I was originally planning on going to another trail that was closer to home, but that happens to be closed for the winter time, so I had to go down to Flagpole Knob, and this exceeded my expectations. If it had just a little bit more ground clearance, slightly better approach and departure angles, and proper all-terrain tires, I think this would eat the trails, because this kept up with a 3rd Gen 4Runner pretty much most of the trail. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you that are going to be like, oh, Flagpole Knob isn't difficult, I could go there in 2-wheel drive. It's a pretty complex trail, especially for an all-wheel drive 3-row crossover like this. Now I'm oogling over one of, well, not these. I really am interested to see the Passport and also the Ridgeline, but the Passport is a car I'd actually consider buying for myself. But I'm glad that you guys were able to go on this bit of an adventure with me with this 2023 Honda Pilot TrailSport. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, peeps.